Greetings, today I'm checking out the LED taillights from Autobeam.
Alright, here we are then on the absolutely epic looking Autobeam LED taillights for the Mark 3.5 Focus. Of course, I'm installing them into my Focus RS, but they are compatible with other models as well. They're just so visually striking. Like, I wasn't even expecting it to be like, you know, such a night and day difference between these and the stock tail lights. I have heard it a few times that people don't really like the stock tail lights because they are very red. Some people like the red. I've never really been that bothered, but you know, now that I think about it and now that I see these, I think this is a really awesome way to go. It's going to really like increase the visual style of the exterior of the car around the back, and it is just going to sit really well kind of with the theme of what I am doing and what a lot of people do, in that I have, you know, a number of black accents. Like if I, you know, roll around here, you know, like my black wheels, and of course we have that dark tint. These of course being black smoked in style, it's just going to keep that theme going, and they're just going to match in and look really, really cool. Not only are these going to look cool just, you know, off as they sit here right now, but obviously being Autobeam, we're talking about LEDs. So what we're going to get from these as far as LEDs is really nice and bright, and being a fully made up unit, there's no like obvious, you know, just bulbs like you get with the stock. You know, like some people don't really like the fact that, you know, if you look inside the stock you can see, you know, bulbs here, bulbs down in here as well. So like this is all obviously designed in. It's a fully like sealed unit, you know, so if I flip it around, you can see that, you know, there's, you know, no way of getting in there, which obviously you don't need to do with this fully made up unit. But yeah, even though these are black smoked, the LEDs that Autobeam have put in here are super bright, so we're going to get really good luminance. We're going to get that increased level of safety because people will be able to see you much better. And yeah, of course they are plug and play. If you've ever had your tail lights off before, you'll recognize the design here, the shape, the bits around the back, and the little clip here, and then the two screws. This is basically exactly the setup on the OEM, of course, as well bolstered by the OEM plug, so it is literally plug and play. Going to be a really easy install. I mentioned already, you know, these fixings, that's literally it. It's just a couple of screws that we can remove by hand, and the little pin, and yeah, it's going to be really quick, really easy, and it's going to be super duper effective. There are some really interesting points about these LED tail lights from Autobeam. So some of you out there may recognize the approximate design. There are other manufacturers out there who make very similar looking tail lights for the Focus, and indeed what Autobeam do is they use the same moldings currently. Basically what Autobeam do is they take the same moldings that other people use, but then they put all of their own stuff on the inside, and indeed they do it in a much better, much higher quality way. And one way that you can see that, if I angle this, it's kind of hard to see because it's like see-through, it's E marked, which is quite an important thing. That is a sign of quality that you will not find on any other manufacturer of similar looking taillights. Autobeam have gone the extra distance to ensure maximum quality. So they are E marked and they are MOT compliant, guaranteed. Autobeam have actual certificates. Again, other manufacturers do not, they just slap them together. So like I was saying, it may be the same molding that other manufacturers use, but Autobeam do literally everything else, from the lens material, the sealant, the LED chips, everything is spec'd out by Autobeam in-house. Autobeam have also done the work with the wiring internally to make sure that all of the resistance is there, everything is right, so that you will get no CAN bus errors whatsoever. So that is awesome. So yes, without further ado, let's get to the actual install. You may have noticed I am doing this in the boot area, and that is because those little screws I mentioned before, we have to undo them from inside the boot, so let's do that now. Alright, so if we just get down into this area right here, we can see these little trap doors. So essentially, if we just like pinch them and pull, they come off like that. You can see the little tabs that they're on, kind of like in there and then hinging and just sort of wrapped around like that. And behind there, I'll just move the camera a little closer, we see this black plastic thing, and that is the little thumb screw. So, I mean, in theory, this shouldn't be on any tighter than what requires our hands to undo this. That's what it's designed for. If you need to, you can use pliers on these little wings, just sort of either side, you know, some needle nose pliers, and just twist it to loosen very carefully, because it is, of course, plastic. You don't want to damage that. But yeah, we just take that all the way out. Then if we get up here into this open space, you can actually see that there's another one right there. So exactly the same thing, we need to remove that as well. So just reach in and undo. So now the only thing that is holding the tail light in is that little prong. So what we need to do is just get a grip on the tail light and give it a bit of a pull just to release that. Doesn't require much force at all. Then we are presented with the electronics, and the main thing is the wiring harness. So we just push this little tab in and then pull. And that is the tail light out. Alright, so with our stock tail light out, we can do a direct comparison with the Autobeam, and it really is a night and day difference. They just look so very different. Something that I didn't mention before is the indicator. So on our new Autobeam unit, we have a sequential indicator, which is not something that we were able to have before. So the most that we could do before is put a brighter and nicer color LED in here for the indicator at the rear, which is, you know, just an on-off LED. But with the Autobeam, like I say, we have sequential baked in, which is awesome. So yeah, I'll flip them over now and we can look at the back. So the rears of the unit, the OEM versus the new Autobeam, fairly similar actually. Obviously they have to be fairly similar in order to fit. The Autobeam, of course, is nice and new. We have these nice brand new little bushing pads, which do exist on the OEM, but they're quite squished, quite well used at this point. So it's nice to have new things. And yeah, we have our wiring, which is, like I was saying, fully done in-house at Autobeam. So yeah, let's get this in place. The installation of our Autobeam unit is literally the reverse of taking the OEM unit out. Right, so I took the opportunity before putting the new Autobeam unit in to clean up this area. It's not an area that's easily accessible most of the time. So with one arm, we're going to hold the Autobeam unit, then we're going to plug in the wiring harness. So it can only really go in one way. So in the Autobeam unit, there's this piece of plastic which lines up with a slot on the OEM connector, and then the plastic snag bit lines up with the top. So we just line that up, push it in, and we should hear a little click. There we go. So now we need to just line everything up. What we want to do with this wiring harness is to bend it around such that it is above this bottom screw. Then we want to line the two screws up with the holes in the bodywork, and also line up our little prong right here into its hole. Okay, so once everything is lined up, we give the prong area a little bit of a push, and that will click into the bodywork and secure it. Alright, so now we can go back into the boot area and get our little plastic nuts screwed in. So yeah, literally just the opposite of before. We just find it and screw it in, and just get it tight enough with your fingers, no tools required. And the same with the lower one, you can see the screw poking through there. Okay, and then we just get our little door back, line up our tabs, do the two little ones, swing it round, bend it, and that is that side done. So now we just need to repeat the exact same process on the other side.
there we are, that is the installation finished of the Autobeam LED taillights, and I gotta say, they look really awesome. They really changed the look of the car quite dramatically, even more so than I was expecting. That smoked look is just really sort of stealth, and being that it is not bright red anymore, just matches in like we were talking about earlier, and just makes everything flow really well, and I think just looks really cool. I am told that there is a red version on the way. If you like the red color, but you want this like integrated LED setup with the sequentials and everything, that is coming soon from Autobeam, so keep an eye out for that. Another interesting thing that Autobeam are considering is doing an RGB version. Total customization. You can change the colors of the LEDs, much like they are currently offering for the Mustang. So what do you think about that? Do you think that would be something that you would be interested in? Do you think you would be interested in buying such a product? It would be at a premium, but it would be super duper cool. If you jump over to the Autobeam website, you can see the Mustang version, you can see what I'm talking about. Essentially, it'd be controllable via the app. You just make it do whatever you want it to do, make it look the way you want, and it would be really cool and interesting. So let me know down below in the comments if you would like to see that, if you would like to pay that premium to get that. Is that something that you are interested in? Let me know down below and Autobeam will find out. So I hope you like that, I hope you like these, and I hope you like this video. Please do like, share and subscribe for more content to come very soon. I've got some more Autobeam videos, I have some other interesting videos coming, so make sure you're subscribed for that, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.